What's going on, class? Happy Friday. Welcome to your first screencast. Congrats on finding the link on Final Site. So you made it through step one. So sorry, we do have to do some work today. So first off, in this screencast, you're going to watch me go over the worksheet from last class. I'll show you which one I'm talking about. It's this one right here. It's one with midpoints. So you can see, you'll see my screen, and you can see me in the corner. So that's the worksheet I'm going to go over. We're going to walk through that momentarily. So if you did not do that worksheet on last class, or you did not have time to finish it, I would like you to pause the video now and finish. That way you can see how much you know, and then you can look for the mistakes you made when I go over it. But then after this screencast is over, you're going to have to go back to Final Site and click on the other link. That's going to be screencast 2. That'll be the note sheet. So that green sheet that the sub gave you, that will be the notes that we are taking for today. After that will be about 30 minutes because each screencast is about 15 minutes long. Then you'll have a worksheet to complete. If you do not complete that in class, she will collect it, or he. The sub has been told to collect the worksheet, so I want to see how much you're done. So please try your best to finish or get as much done as possible. There is no homework over the weekend, but you do have that pre-test makeup due Tuesday. That's the write-up and the problems. The write-up does need to be typed, but the problems do not have to be typed. If you need help, I know we didn't get to everything last class, so if you do need help, I'm in on Monday, 6:30 to noon. You can catch me. I'm off the first period. I'll be in my office 217, and then the second period, I'm down in the DAH, and for A, I will be in the LMC, so no excuse. You can come find me if none of that time works for you. I will be after school after 3 p.m. up till about 4 o'clock or 4:30. So please come see me if you still have questions. All right, so without further ado, again, pause it if you didn't finish that worksheet, but I'm going to start going over the worksheet. So here's the worksheet. It involves midpoint, segment bisectors, which we talked about, angle bisectors, which we talked about, and this new thing called vertical angles, which we'll get to. So the first question is asking if C is the midpoint of AB. So AB is right here. Here's A, and here's B. So the whole thing. Okay, so C is the midpoint. C is exactly in the middle. As you see, we have these two tick marks. That means these two are congruent, AC and CB, and we have these equations for them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, let me turn on my cursor. So we have 2x plus, this is very hard, I apologize, I'm going slow. We have 2x plus 1, that's AC, and then we set that equal to 3x minus 4. So these two are equal because they have the equal measures. They are congruent. So to find x, all you do is you subtract the 2x. That will give you an x over here. And you add the 4. That's going to be equal to 5. So you write that right over here. 5. Not too bad. So you just have to know that step. And then it's just algebra. Then from there, it's asking you to find AC, CB, and AB. Well, you have AC, 2x plus 1. So you just plug in the 5. You're going to get 10 plus 1 is 11 for AC. 11, and then you have 3x minus 4. You're going to do plug in 5 again. You get 15 minus 4, which is 11. Now you see how you got the same measure for both those? That's good. That's a good thing. That means because they are congruent, they have the same measures. This is the midpoint. They should be the same thing. So this whole thing is just the two of them combined, which is 22. So 22 for that whole thing. Again, there's another question right here that's pretty much the same thing. They give you PT and TQ. I suggest drawing it out first, so it should look like this. Here's P, here's Q, and then T is in the middle. So we can do P, T, and Q. And then again, set them equal to each other and find X. Again, at any point, if I'm going too fast or you need to rehear what I said, that's the nice thing about a screencast. You don't have to raise your hand like we do in class. You just pause it, rewind, and then you're all set to catch up. So I'm not going to do 2. I'm going to scoot down to the segment bisectors. So again, very similar. Now instead of a midpoint, we have this line, AC. Well, it's not really a line, it's a segment. We have segment AC, which is breaking up BD into 2 equal parts. Again, you see the tick marks. That means they are congruent, they're equal. So DE right here, that's x plus 4. X plus 4. So that's DE. And that is congruent to EB. So that equals 3x minus 8. Again, as long as you know that, you're able to do it, and you just do algebra. So let's subtract the x, so we get 2x over here. And then we'll add the 8 to get 12. Now you just divide by 2 and you're going to get 6 for x. X equals 6. And now it's asking you to find dB. So I'm going to take the easy route. I have dE. 6 plus 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. So that's half. This is 10. Let's label it. This is 10. So this has to be, oh, that's a bad 0. This has to be 10. 10 plus 10, 20. Again, if you don't trust me that this EB is 10, you can always just plug in 6 here and you will get 10. Now, number 4 is this same diagram. You have BD bisects AC. So actually, they're both bisecting each other. And this time they give you the full thing. Oh no, they still break it up into 2 parts. So it's the exact same problem. You're going to have AE is 2x plus 7. Oh, no, it is different. I knew it was different. So AE, we'll do this. So AE equals 2x plus 7. Now, we have AE, and then we have AC is 34. So we know the big part of the segment is 34. So what we can do is we know that this is the same as this. So we can multiply this by 2 and set that equal to 34. Again, why I'm multiplying by 2 is because I have 2 of the same thing, and that is equal to the whole. You divide by 2 first to get 17. You get 2x plus 7 equals 17. Subtract the 7 to get 10. Divide by 2 to get 5. You have x. Oh, lost my cursor. Is 5. How do you find AE and EC? Well, they're the exact same length. You just plug 5 in. You're going to get 17. Look at that. 17 plus 17 is 34. So these are both 17. Whoa. There you go. So they're both 17. Again, if you need help, ask a friend or just rewind. This one, AE is 12. And you know AC, they give you the equation for AC. So you're going to set it up like this. You're going to have 24 because if this is 12, then that has to be 12. And that just equals 4x minus 36. And then you just solve. So 12, that has to be 12. That equals the whole thing, which is AC, which is this equation right here. All right, moving on to angle bisectors. Let me take a drink. Nothing better than polar. That's all I drink when I'm home. Also, welcome to my house. This is my house. You can only see the wall behind me. Sorry. So, get sidetracked just as easily as in class. So, we have this right here. It's an angle. ABC, which is made up of these two smaller angles. And it's saying that BX, this is the ray right here, is bisecting that angle. So bisect, we've gone over this. That means it's breaking it up into two equal parts. So ABX, that's this angle right here, ABX, that is going to be 5x. Like I've said in class tons of times, if we give you something on a worksheet, in a test, on a quiz, you should label the diagram. It's going to make it easier for you to see. XBC is 3x plus 10. 3x plus 10. So bisect two equal parts. All you have to do is set them equal to each other. 5x equals 3x plus, come on, plus 10. Simple algebra again, you're going to get 2x equals 10. This is why I took that pretest very seriously, and I want you guys to really do well on that makeup assignment and ask questions if you don't know, because as you can see, our class is going to have a lot of algebra. If you don't know how to solve equations, it's going to be tough for you. You don't want to have to worry about solving equations. You want to just worry about the theorems and postulates and definitions. So you divide by 2, you get 5 for x. Again, how do you find the two angles? You just substitute back in. You don't have to substitute back into both. If you did it right, all you have to substitute back into 1 because they are equal. So 5 times 5 is 25. This is 25, ABX. And ABC, the big thing, well, 25 plus 25 is 50. So make sure you write degrees too. If it's asking you for a measure of an angle, I want degrees. Some people got points taken off on their last test because of that last quiz. So these two, just draw a diagram. I'm going to leave those up to you to check with a friend, or you can check with me on Tuesday if you really want to know the answer. But I'm only going to do one in the screencast because I want to make sure we have time to talk about this. So vertical angles. Funny thing, this isn't labeled, so you might have been like, well, what's measure 3 and measure 4? We'll just label this measure 3 and angle 4. So vertical angles, we haven't talked about the definitions of vertical angles and what you can assume about vertical angles, so this might have been tough for you. So what we can say is if you have vertical angles, which are angles that are across from each other, that share the same point, central point, they are congruent. So angles 1 and angle 2 are congruent. And the reason because that is because this right here, I'll draw a line, from here to here is 180 degrees. And then also, this might get confusing, from here to here is that 100 degrees again, 180 degrees. So 180 degrees minus 1, 180 degrees minus 2, these are the same thing. Not 1 and 2, but the measures of them, sorry. So if they are equal vertical angles, you just set them equal to each other. X plus 10 equals 4x minus 35. Again, from here it's just algebra. So you subtract x, and you find, and you add 35, and you go from there. These are vertical angles as well. 3 and 4 are vertical angles. So we just set them equal to each other again. 3x plus 8 equals 5x minus 20. All right, so you should have been able to do this, follow along. Hopefully you won't have too many mistakes. Again, when I'm back on Tuesday, please, if you have questions on this, ask. If you're urgent, just send me an email. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But that is screencast 1, so now you're going to go to screencast 2. We're going to learn some new stuff on logic. And so I'll see you there.